There was a lot of talk heading into 2023 about what would happen with the Halifax real estate market. A lot of people were saying that the market was going to tank, the market was going to crash, prices were going to drop, people were overpaying for homes in 2022. But the reality is, so far in 2023, the market has been pretty stable. And so far, the demand has been high and the inventory has remained relatively low. And because of this, the market remained relatively hot in January. Now, I recently posted a poll and a lot of you said that you wanted more videos about market stats in the Halifax real estate market. And the good news is you are in luck because I'm a huge nerd. I'm a big numbers guy. I love stats about the market. So today, I'm going to talk about the market conditions in Halifax in January of 2023, and specifically what that means if you're trying to buy a home or sell a home in Halifax. But before I do, if you get any value out of this video, please hit the like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future content, and that'll help push this content to more people like you who may be interested in watching. And if you have any questions about the Halifax real estate market, you can book a call or a meeting with me anytime in the Calendly link below in my description at a time when it's convenient for you. So 2023 has been clipping right along and we're already into February. So in January, in the Halifax-Dartmouth region, there were 198 homes sold. And of these 198 sales, 51 of them sold for over the asking price. So this works out to 25.8% or just over 1 in 4 homes sold. And furthermore, if I add in the listings that sold for right at their asking price, that would bring it up to 38% of homes in January that sold for the asking price or higher in the Halifax-Dartmouth area. So as a buyer, if you're looking for a home, you're still going to face a lot of multiple offer situations, so you need to be prepared for that. In terms of the strategy that most sellers are going with, they're listing right around what the market value is perceived to be. So in other words, if somebody thinks their home is worth $550,000, they're probably listing it right at $549,900 or $550,000, or maybe they're going to price it a little bit higher to leave some room for negotiating, such as $559,900 or $569,900 or maybe $575,000. And generally speaking, people are not setting an offer deadline. They're just saying leave it open for 24 hours for review, or in some cases, they're going to up that to 48 hours or 72 hours, depending on the location and what that product is. Now, there are still some scenarios where people are pricing aggressively. So for example, if it's a hot market, maybe it's Creighton Park in Dartmouth, or maybe it's the West End of Halifax or Fairview, for example. Some people might still be saying leave it open for 48 hours or for 72 hours to give ample time to get lots of showings. And really, you can tell when they are expecting multiple offers. And it all really comes down to price. So for example, if somebody thinks their home is worth around the $560,000 or $565,000 range, they might list it at $549,900 as a strategic price point to get a lot of people in the door to hopefully create that multiple offer situation for their seller. Now, on the seller side, it is very specific to the type of product you have, the neighborhood you're in, and the price point. So certain price points are hotter than others. I find anything that's $550,000 or less right now is still kind of flying off the shelf, and everything that's about $600,000 plus is kind of hanging around a little bit more, but it really does depend. Now, in my opinion, a lot of the inventory that's been hanging around for quite some time, maybe 2, 4, 6 weeks or more, I find that it is overpriced. And it seems to me like they're looking for some price points they might have seen last spring. But the reality is the market is way different now than it was then. So last spring, we were looking around $575,000, $580,000 average price point in HRM. And now that's about $520,000. So there is a big gap there. Now, while some listings are still selling in a few days or a week or less, some of them are hanging around for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks or more. But just because your listing hangs around doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to get the price that you want. I'm seeing a lot of situations where something's sitting on the market for 6, 7, or 8 weeks, and they're still selling it, around 98, 99, or 100% of the asking price. So it really just does depend. And as a seller, you can always say no to a low offer, and remember that, but you can't say anything to no offers if nobody comes to look at your property in the first place. In terms of the list to sale price ratio, in January, we were selling homes for about 98% of the asking price. So this is still a great number. It's obviously not over the asking price on average, but the listing strategy has changed a lot compared to last January when we were underpricing homes on purpose to create those multiple offer situations. So if you're buying, it's a lot better than it was this time last year, but there's still a lot of demand and a lot of competition out there. And it's very situational. So depending on what you're looking for, you may end up competing pretty often against other buyers. Like the title says, 1 in 4 homes right now, you're going to be in competition with other offers on that particular property. Now, if you're a seller. It's not as hot as it was this time last year, and you might not see multiple offers, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we can't have a successful sale in a price point that you're happy with. It might just look a little bit different now than it did this time last year in January of 2022. Now, there's just a quick recap for you of some things I'm seeing in the market and what the conditions are like out there. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me in my Calendly link below in the description. Anytime you can book a call or a meeting with me when it's convenient for you. And if you're still here watching, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it, and have a great day.